to another episode of, I don't know what to call this YouTube channel, but if you have suggestions, please comment below and let me know what I should call this YouTube channel. However, we are finally back from Arizona after spending about a week setting up the solar power, the water, building the deck, doing some landscaping. We are finally back in LA and ready to get this listing live, which brings us to the topic of this video, how to make a listing. And I'm going to show you exactly step by step. I'm going to show you step by step exactly how to make an Airbnb listing, how to make it go live, and then we're going to wait a month and see how it actually performs. Before I jump into the nitty-gritty of actually making the listing, I wanted to give some insight on my education that helped me create this listing. So first, when it comes to marketing and photos, I was lucky enough to work at one of the top travel creative agencies in the world. It's called Beautiful Destinations, where I basically travel around the world and took photos and videos. Pretty much a dream job, I know. But that's what kind of taught me how to do real estate photography. That's what taught me how to do lifestyle photography and really show off a beautiful location in its most aesthetic form. So from a photo standpoint, that's really how I learned to really show off my property the best it could. When it comes to the actual copy and listing part, I learned from two sources. The first one was our guy, who's now the host of Bigger Pockets, Rob Built. And the second one was from a book called Short-Term Rental, Long-Term Wealth, written by Avery Carl. Both of those helped me learn not only how to create the copy, but also how to create the listing. Both of those are very informative. I'll link to both of those in the description below. So let's jump right into it. Before photos, before copy, before even making the listing, you have to decide on the booking platform that you want to use. Right now in today's world, there are two different major booking platforms, Airbnb and VRBO. Both are very similar. However, they do have their differences. Airbnb is typically from shorter stays, anywhere from like a day to a couple days to a week. Now, you can do longer stays, but that's basically Airbnb's niche. Opposed to VRBO, which is very much longer stays, it's like a week to a couple weeks to a month. Both are great platforms. You can sync both calendars, so really you can have your listing on each one. For this glam spot, I am only going to choose Airbnb because when people come to visit the Grand Canyon, they're typically only coming for a day or two. They're not spending a week or a month out there, and living off grid for a month is kind of rough. However, I chose Airbnb, but maybe if you want to choose VRBO in addition to Airbnb, I'm going to break down both of them. So first one is price. Airbnb takes 3% as a booking fee compared to VRBO, which is 5%. VRBO also offers a $4.99 flat fee. The second is the interface. Both are pretty much similar on this. Airbnb is more kind of user-friendly in my opinion. However, both interfaces are pretty similar. As for security deposits, VRBO actually charges the guests a refundable charge on their credit card compared to Airbnb, which they just do a temporary hold on the credit card. Last thing is taxes. Airbnb actually remits and collects taxes, where VRBO actually requires the owner to remit their taxes. So once you choose your platform, the second step to do, numero dos, is to do your photos. I can't stress this enough. This is the number one thing you want to focus on when creating your listing. If you can't take photos, then pay for professional photos. It is so worth paying for professional photos because that's your marketing. Your marketing on the algorithm of Airbnb, when they search and people click your listing, that gets registered on Airbnb, and they will then prioritize your listing higher if you have more clicks on it. The way you get more clicks on it is have a nicer photo. Get that first photo to really attract your potential guests, which then Airbnb will start prioritizing your listing as a hotter listing, and we'll get more eyeballs on that listing. We'll get more clicks. With more clicks, you get more bookings. With more bookings, you make more money. Let's go. So when taking your photos, I suggest taking them at two different times, or telling your photographer to. I suggest either taking them in the late morning or the late afternoon, which is about 10 to 11 or 4 to 5. That gives a perfect, not overhead lighting, but a nice shine through to the building so everything's lit. I also would take a round of photos at sunset or at sunrise so you can get colors in the sky. Those typically perform really well on Airbnb. And again, the better the photos, the more clicks and the more bookings. So make sure you pay for professional photos. So without further ado, let's jump in, and I'm going to show you guys how I do my photos and a little bit about the editing process So first thing we do is we put all of the raw photos in a folder called raw photos. And then what we do is choose our favorites. We drag our favorites into a different folder called the selects, which then we will edit those selects in Lightroom. After we're done choosing all the selects, we drag them into Lightroom and we start editing them. Now I might do another video on how I actually edit my photos, but if that's something you guys want to watch, comment below and I'll make that as well. Once the photos are done, it's time to move on to the copy. This is where it gets fun. First thing you want to know about copy is if photos is your marketing tool, copy is kind of your saving grace. So you will be asked the same 10 questions for every listing if you don't have the right copy. Your copy is really there to answer questions that you already know is going to happen. Now your copy will change throughout the first couple months of your listing because as guests come in and ask their questions, you're going to want to then move those answers to the copy so that you're not completely bombarded with the same questions over and over by every single guest. So you might be asking, where do I start? How do I start? How do I do copy? I'm not a writer. I hate writing. So my solution to this is go on to Airbnb and find top 4 listings. I then would take those 4 listings, copy and paste them all onto a Word document and choose your favorite parts of each and then edit it around. I am not saying just steal their copy, but grabbing inspiration from the top 4 listings to make your own listing is probably the best solution that you can do if you're not a good writer, if you don't know where to start. It's a great way to get inspiration. So go ahead, look at the top 4 listings in your market, then choose your favorite parts of each, combine, and really artistry is just copying and adding your own little twist to it. That's all art is. And so copy is part of that. Now, you can get clever with this. We, for example, are not going to offer Wi-Fi in the Airstream. However, instead of saying, oh no, we don't have Wi-Fi, we say, this is a perfect time to unplug. Let go of your technology, be in Mother Nature. So that is your copy. With your photos and your copy, you're ready to start this listing. You are going to jump onto Airbnb, and I'm actually going to make this listing in front of you guys right now. Let's go ahead. I want to say this before. If you like this video or if you like my channel, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. I hate when people say it, but I'm going to say support your boy. And this is the last little plug. If you want to become an Airbnb host, you can actually sign up with my link in the description as well. You will receive $40 on your first stay. So make sure you sign up with that link as well. All right, let's go make this listing, huh? So first step is to go on to Airbnb.com, become a host in 10 easy steps. What kind of place will you host? Now, this is important, guys, because Airbnb just changed their UI and their algorithm. On the homepage, they're now promoting special events. So if you want to go skiing, you press the skiing tab and it actually shows you anywhere in the world that you can go skiing, or in the United States that you can go skiing, so that you are no longer choosing your destination and then figuring out your activity. You're choosing your activity, and then Airbnb is giving your destination. They want you to be open about where you are going to travel, but be choosy on what you want to do, which I think is actually kind of a cool update. So on this, I wanted to make sure I chose exactly what I needed to choose in order to make the listing pop out. So first, I chose unique spaces. Which of these best describes your place? It is an Airstream, so I clicked camper and RV. So next, it was an entire place, and then it came to choose my address. I am going to fast forward this so you guys don't see my exact address. Next is to choose the number of guests, beds, bedrooms, and baths. I chose 4 guests, 2 beds, 2 bedrooms, and 1 bathroom. And then it's time to choose your amenities. I built a patio, which I spent a very long time. There's a fire pit. There's an outdoor dining area. There's a kitchen. There's free parking on the premises. Sure. There's a first aid kit, a carbon monoxide alarm, a fire extinguisher. Click next. Now it's time to upload your photos. I went to my photos. So next was to create your title. I actually have all of my copy on a sheet. Next was to choose highlights. Now, I really wanted this to people to go take photos, so I did memorable and in nature. Next is to create your description, which I then went into my copy and pasted. After that, it was time to choose the price I wanted, which was $125 to start, because I want to see how it rents out. Do you have any of these at your place, which is just basically a precaution, and I do not. And we are almost set. I pressed OK, and I finally got into the back end of Airbnb. So one thing I do want to point out is that Airbnb right now is like the OG Instagram. Basically, you can do airbnb.com/H, which stands for homes, / any URL you want. There are not a lot of people that have specified URLs for their Airbnb listing. And I guarantee in the next 10 years, next 5 years, you are not going to be able to get a custom URL that is like a cool. Remember like on Instagram where you can get the one word username, like hi, and that like 2 years ago, people were paying like millions of dollars for one word usernames. That's where Airbnb is right now. You have to solidify your URL on Airbnb right now, because I guarantee that in 5 years, you're not going to be able to solidify the one that you want. So I was able to secure Glamping Grand Canyon. And I'm telling you, if you can secure the URL that you want, it's not going to last forever. And the most important part of all of this is SEO. If people look up Grand Canyon Glamping Grand Canyon, I want the first thing to show up on Google is my Airbnb. And so that's why I secured that URL, because that's everything when it comes to SEO. That's everything when it comes to any Google search, is securing that URL, which allows you to rank higher in Google, which will get me more bookings. That is a little hidden gem that not a lot of people know, is make sure you secure your URL for your Airbnb listing that matches and that promotes your listing for the SEO on Google. That is a hot tip right there. Make sure you do it. So after that, we were done. The listing was up. We were ready to go. However, I was very nervous, so I called my friend who loves camping. Her name is Marla. She's a good family friend of ours. And I said, Marla, I need you to book a night. Please, can you book a night right now? I will refund you all your money. Just please stay there. Give me a 5-star review. And I was very nervous. However, this video is not done yet. We are going to wait a month. I will come back in the same video and see how my Airbnb has done after a month and see where we are with bookings. And I'm very nervous, but I can't wait. Stay tuned. All right, we are back after a month of setting up this listing, and it is going better than I could have ever imagined. Take a look. So first we're going to go on Airbnb. We're going to go to switch to hosting, and we are going to look at all of these bookings. We have done phenomenally. So we'll start off with May, when it went live. We went live on the 12th. Nervous to get it started, but we have had, since it was gone live, the 17th, which was empty in May. And since it's gone live, we've had 1 day of empty reservation. May 17th, sad day. However, we are up and running and have been crushing it. Not a single empty day besides the 17th in all of May. We have 1 in June. July has 3. August is half booked. I could not be happier with what is happening right now. I'm honestly so shocked and surprised and blessed. I am honestly lost for words. Next, let's jump into our earnings. May 2022. As I said, we only had a half month where we did $2,700. We had 18 nights booked. We had only 2 nights unbooked. If we do the math real quick, we got $2,733 booked in May, $6,354 booked in June, $6,259 booked in July, $4,394 booked in August, $4,196 booked in September, $1,945 booked in October, and $1,269 booked in November, which gives us a grand total of a little over $27,000 booked after the first month, baby. Let's go. Here's the recap. We have officially, in 1 month, paid back our initial investment of the Airbnb after 1 month. Now, obviously, it's going to take 4 or 5 months to recoup all of that money, but we have $27,000 in reservations that is coming in before the end of the year, which will pay off our original investment. And I can't tell you how lucky and honored and blessed I am to have had the results that we are having now. I can't wait to expand, put more units on this land. Actually, without giving too much away, we just bought another trailer. That's for next video. Stay tuned. Watch out for the next one. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.